And Secret Service being praised for preventing a national tragedy. The armed suspect, who is believed to have booked a room in the hotel where gunfire erupted, charged the security checkpoint and exchanged fire with law enforcement while the president sat inside the ballroom just steps away. Former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf and former FBI supervisory agent Jack Jupin joining us now. Chad, let me go to you first. This could have ended far worse. The gunman was stopped before he entered the ballroom, but there are still questions. What do you make of the Secret Service and the security questions that remain going forward?
Well, the law enforcement there on site, including Secret Service, but I'm sure the Metropolitan Police Department there in D.C. also had a role. They did their job. Obviously, the suspect did not get into the ballroom and was apprehended. I'm sure there are going to be questions about checkpoints, enough outer checkpoints, things of that nature. But, you know, the magnetometer that this individual rushed is really the last line of defense, making sure that no one gets past that with a weapon of any kind. So, in some respects, the Secret Service did their job. They prevented this individual from getting into the ballroom, but I think there will certainly be questions asked of how do you prevent something like this from even getting to that point, even getting to an outer room where the president is with a weapon. So really, really important that the law enforcement did their job. And I'll just reiterate, you know, Secret Service is part of the Department of Homeland Security, which remains unfunded at this day and time. And so these agents and officers are doing their job despite the Democrats in Congress refusing to fund them.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big conversation with Congress. Jack, let me go to you on the investigation front, because clearly the FBI in the lead. We're waiting for authorities to go in that Torrance, California home and search it. But what do you think they're looking at, whether or not this is a lone gunman, in building perhaps a timeline of how he decided to come across the country and attempt this?
Well, you know, that's what the FBI is hoping for, right? We're looking to do obtain search warrants. They're going to do it by the book. They're going to dot their I's, cross their T's for a future prosecution in this case. Obviously, you know, a full search of his home hopefully will identify at least a motive. In a lot of these cases, there is a manifesto, because in a lot of these cases, the shooter or would-be shooter don't plan to come back. They plan to be taken down as well during the attack. In this case, again, thank God, the president is okay, and we do have him in custody at this point in time. So there'll be a lot of scrutiny. Obviously, they'll look at his social media. They'll interview all his family's friends. Unfortunately, you know, the man's parents have to go through this, who, you know, ideally probably have nothing to do with any of this, but they're going to have to go through a tough time. I'm sure the house and the location is secure upon waiting for the warrant, which is absolutely legal. And they're going to wait, and they're going to conduct a thorough search of this.
And Chad, just quickly before we run out of time, I do want to get your thoughts. I mean, there were 3,000 people inside that ballroom that included the president, vice president, first lady, cabinet secretaries, congressmen, and of course the media. Is it time to really start rethinking large events like this?
Well, yes.
Well, I think a large event, yeah.
The president said he's going to continue to do these.
Yeah, Chad, your thoughts?
Yeah, and I would say large venues like this do get a significant amount of scrutiny, particularly when the president and the cabinet and the vice president are there. So there already is a significant amount of planning that goes into things like this. But again, they'll take a look at making sure that they've got the right protocols in place. Is there anything that they need to improve upon? Again, let me reiterate and stress that the Secret Service did their job. That the checkpoint where that magnetometer is usually manned by an overwhelming number of law enforcement officials. So again, they did their job and neutralized this individual. There's always room for improvement. They're going to take a look at this and see what more can be done. Absolutely.
They get kudos. They stopped that threat before things got worse. Chad Wolf, Jack Jupin, thank you for taking time and your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.